Joe, I'm great. How are you doing today?
I'm very good. I'm very good indeed. I'm very
Well,
well.
great to see you. Happy New Year. Hope you had a good holiday
Happy New
and
Year.
that thank you, and that you're all relaxed. And boy, we really go into the new year with this performance. My God. Okay. Were you a little freaking out as to what you would have to accomplish in this movie when you first started it?
100%, 100%. No, the script came. They said, devil. Yes, absolutely, devil. Read the script, love the script.
Yeah.
And then you start going through. Well, who's played the devil? How have they played the devil? What is, you go through all of those, and then you come up with an idea. And the idea, you really settle into it. That's great. And then you get to Prague, and you suddenly see the previs for the makeup and the costume, and your idea goes completely out the window, because your sort of martini sipping suave devil is gone. You can't do that with that look. So suddenly, with probably a couple of days, I had to kind of completely rejig what I was thinking. And then, obviously, how do you approach it vocally? Because now you've got somebody that looks like that. What are you going to do with your voice?
Right.
So that was a sort of an extreme thing. And then you get to set, and you're standing there with Peter and I are standing there, and there's three big fans. I mean, they look like fans that should be on, a C-130, and they're blowing. So neither of us can hear each other.
Right.
And so any nuance in the dialogue just goes out the window, out the window. But you knew very quickly. You went, okay, this is what you do. This is how you do it for the size and the effects and what have you. And you're going to have to tailor that in post-production. So really, suddenly you were just thinking about the physicality of the guy. Or the guy, him, that chap.
Well, but I was going to ask you, because you have played baddies before, no question. And I mean, let's face it, playing the bad guy is always way more fun. There's no question about it. But with this, as you say, it is the devil, and we have seen so many incarnations of Lucifer and all this. And I want to ask you about that voice, because how do you sustain that throughout the whole shoot?
You don't. To be perfectly honest, you don't. We shot for about 3 days, and I think it took me 5 for it to come back.
Wow.
So it was a couple of days of really being hoarse and sore. But again, because I kept running up to Nathan as we were shooting and saying, you are going to manipulate the voice, right? I mean, you are going to add something to it, because no matter what you do, it's never going to be full enough to match the imagery. So I just went as far as I could without really damaging myself.
Of course, absolutely.
And but he kept saying to me, no, we're not going to change. No, it's fine. No, we'll leave the voice how I think it sounds great. So obviously I'm pushing more and more and more. I think he knew full well that he was going to change, add to it, but he just let me go. So.
Good stuff. I was going to say, as an actor, it had to have been not just a lot of fun, but pretty freeing to be able to play a character like this, because you are kind of, giving us a new look at what the devil could be. And so it must have been very exhilarating, I would think.
It was, and there wasn't a huge amount of dialogue to work from. So it was very much the physicality and working from the outside in, seeing the imagery of the guy. It wasn't to do with the nuances of what he was saying, or there weren't long extended dialogue scenes where you got a sense of his, what I mean, his mindset. So it was very much it felt almost like theater, because we were shot at in a quarry. So it was that big limestone quarry, and it felt like a sort of 3/4 round, stage with the throne and what have you. So it felt very, very theatrical in that sense. And then, of course, anything nuanced was tricky anyway, because of all the external noise and fans and effects and what have you. So
yeah, I mean, it was fun to watch as a viewer, just to and thinking about, how you're manipulating this performance. It was really, really well done, I got to tell you. But the premise of the film too is, taking someone's DNA and kind of recreating someone from the past. Okay, if you could bring back anybody, even if it's just for a day, is there somebody that you'd want to sit across from and have a nice little chat with?
Nikola Tesla.
Oh, interesting. Why?
What just, I mean, he's the man. He's I'm sitting here looking at my laptop with all these cables coming out of it, and we wouldn't have that if it wasn't for Tesla. So yeah, no, we'd love to know what happened there. I saw a great picture of, it said 1911, and it had all the Ford electric motor cars from Ford from 1911. So I'd love to know what happened. Yeah.
Very interesting. That's a very interesting answer, but you're right. It would be so cool to go back that far and just pick their brain.
I think we would be living in it would be the Jetsons. It would be that. Literally, I think we've been sitting on that, and that is being kept. But now we're going off into conspiracy. But hey ho.
I know. Listen, yeah, we could chat forever about things like that. I got to ask you, you've picked some really great parts over your career. We're going to talk about Across the Universe in a minute, because I love that movie. But what is it now? You get a script and you're like, I got to think about this. Why am I going to take this?
I mean, there's two ways of thinking about it. Sometimes the job is purely for yourself. So you don't care about the money of it, or the kind of the spectacle of it, and that usually is to do with some sort of self-exploration through that character. So there's some sort of cathartic process, or something that there's some part of you that you're drawn to it, and you go, I need to go. It's almost a sort of a therapeutic thing. I need to go through that,
Makes sense.
And then there's other ones that you go, oh, what, you want me to play a vampire in, or you want me to sing and do this in New York and blah blah blah, and you just go, hell yeah, okay, I'm in purely because it just sounds awesome. I'm sure it and obviously, I won't lie, you don't hear actors say it too much, but sometimes you got to pay the bills too, so
yes, you do.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you go, that's a divorce, and okay, so there you go. God, that's check. But apart from that, it's all artistic choice. It's all,
of course,
yeah.
Of course it
is. Of course, 100%.
100%. Okay, so now we got to go back in time a little bit. I can't even believe it's been 15 years since Across the Universe, but full disclosure,
that's crazy.
It truly is one of my favorite films. And one of the reason, not just because of the Beatle music and the whole, it's Julie Taymor. I mean, for God's sake, I want you to look back at that time when you got to work. What a visionary! I'm speaking to you from Toronto, and many years ago, we brought the Lion King here to Canada, like the live theater version, and I worked on that, and I got to meet Julie, and I've met her over the years too. But she's just incredible. She's just, and having her theater background, what did you take from learning, working with her, going forward in your career? What did you learn from it?
Yeah, I wish it was my second or third job.
Yeah.
Period. And it's almost like I wish I could have that experience now.
Right.
Because, do you know what I mean? Because there were so many things that were probably just going straight over my head, because I just didn't know. But I do remember, and also what she sort of embodied the type of director that I thought directing to be a director, that's what. And she would, not only would she be designing the dance routines or the sequences, or coming up with, like an atom bomb, idea after idea after idea, she'd be coming up with things, but then she would be in the props department making the props. And then she would be, over helping design some rig to fly some person, and she had her feet. It was almost sort of like I know they're completely different, but a very hands-on, sort of a Kubrick way of doing
Yes.
every aspect was she kind of, you know, she
Yeah.
had her fingers in it. And I'd never seen that. I'd, you know, dealt with very sort of, you know, drama school, you know, Shakespeare kind of theatre directors that weren't that visceral and I don't know, just exciting, really. So
Yeah.
but again, as sort of baptism of fire, though, really, you know, going to New York.
Exactly. And you had such a great cast too. I mean, even working with Evan Rachel Wood, looking back and where she is now, you know, I mean, I always knew she was a big talent just from the first time I saw her on a TV series, and she was like what, 12 years old or something. And she had such an extraordinary voice. And now look at her, you know. Do you keep in touch with any of those people?
It's so strange. We do keep in touch, but we don't ever see each other.
Right.
We're never, you know, that at best it will be at some event or something, and it will be for 5 minutes as we go, hey, and you know, and off you go. But it's but yeah, I think I don't keep in touch with so many people. I mean, it's tricky. Yeah. It really, you know, so and not because I don't like them, although it could be that. No, I'm kidding. But
listen, it's hard enough to keep in touch with your own family. I get it, you know.
Well, you know, you you work so intensely, and you say, yeah, we'll do dinner and what have you. And the next thing you do, you know, the person's, you know, 1,000 miles away somewhere filming something. Yeah. So there's a lot of that goes in.
Totally get it. Well, aside from this fantastic performance, do you have anything else coming up that we should know about?
I've just finished a film called The Last Front, which Ian Glenn of Game of Thrones and I are in. It's a First World War movie.
Oh, wow!
Very nicely sort of balanced take on the Germans invading Belgium, and very, very equally balanced in terms of who we follow and who we look at. It's not just the Germans being the bad guys, and you know, it's without giving too much away. It's very it's very nicely balanced. And
good. We'll look forward to that big time. Well, listen, you did a great job as Lucifer. I tell you, you scared the crap out of me, so you did your job. So thank you.
Well, thanks a lot. I think
that's a major compliment, by the way.
No. I got it. It is when it comes across a screen like this, not so much in public.
But thank you so much for your time today, John.
No worries.
I really appreciate it. Have a great day, rest of your day, and hopefully we'll see you here in Toronto at some point sometime.
You will do. I miss it. I love Toronto.
Yeah, I'd love to have you back. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.